rules of the bout with our unofficial ringside scorer, who doesn't weigh 115, Harold Letterman.
Close. The Jorge Arce Rosendo Alvarez fight is scheduled for 12 rounds using the unified rules that you see on your screen. Jim, real quick, the 4 criteria that the judges will use to score each individual round: clean punching, effective aggressiveness, ring generalship, and defense, with a strong emphasis on clean, effective punching. Jim!
This fight is called a special attraction now because Alvarez came in 3 pounds over the 112-pound flyweight limit. It also cost him $25,000 going to Arce, which is maybe a third to a half of his purse, and which has to really hurt him deeply and perhaps motivate him, because as Jim was referring to earlier, they got into a fight in the ring after Arce beat one of Alvarez's fighters. Alvarez's wife promotes the fights and has 34 fighters under contract. They live in Los Angeles and promote fights throughout Central America.
Including Managua, Nicaragua, the hometown of Ricardo Mayorga, whose face you just saw a few minutes ago in the promo for his upcoming fight against Oscar De La Hoya. Rosendo Alvarez fought twice against the great Ricardo Lopez, who retired unbeaten and really came close to losing only twice, because there are many observers who think that Alvarez deserved victory in both of those fights. One ended in a technical draw, the other in a close decision for Ricardo Lopez.
That's how good he was 7 or 8 years ago. How can a little man like that at nearly 36 still perform?
Well, all you have to know about Jorge Arce is that he is sucking on a lollipop as he comes to the ring. I mean, there are few characters in the sport like this guy.
He's been on 2 reality shows, the last one a Mexican version of Dancing with the Stars. He is an extraordinarily effusive, ebullient character, and a hell of a fighter to go with it.
And you hope and pray that he learns English at some point, because he's one of the most fascinating talkers in the sport. He'll say anything at any time. And by the way, Lennox, Jorge has danced for money on television in Mexico. Pastuzu is dancing for money on television in Australia. Evander Holyfield danced for money on television in the United States. When are you going to dance for money in Great Britain?
Well, they've actually offered me to go on there and do some dancing, but I don't think they scored the boogie too well. Plus, I've got big feet, you know. It'd be a sad sight if I step on, you know, a girl's foot that's, you know.
What about a lilting reggae dancing show down in Jamaica, perhaps, huh?
Sounds good.
A little bit more in the gene structure? Let's go up to Michael Buffer for the official introductions here.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bob Arum's Top Rank Incorporated and Don King Productions in association will be Bert Clements, Chuck Hassett, and Dalby Shirley. And when the bell rings, the man in charge of the action inside the ring, Vic Draculich. And now, on the line, the WBC Interim World Championship, 12 rounds of boxing in the flyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing gray with red. Official weight, 115 pounds. Professional record, 36 victories, including 24 knockouts, with only 2 defeats and 2 bouts even. From Managua, Nicaragua, the challenger, Rosendo Alvarez. And fighting out of the red corner, wearing green with blue, official weight, 111 pounds, professional record, 43 victories, including 33 knockouts, only 3 defeats, with 1 bout even. Damas y caballeros de los Mochis, Mexico, the defending WBC Interim World Flyweight Champion, Jorge El Travieso Arce.
Everybody out, let's go. All right, gentlemen, this is for the WBC interim flyweight title. You've received your instructions in the dressing room. Again, I want to caution you. Any punch below this point are going to be called low. Golpes debajo de este punto ser llamado bajo. With that said, I want you to obey my commands, protect yourselves at all times. Obedezca mis comandos y protegerse a sí mismos siempre. Good luck to both of you. Buena suerte a ambos ustedes. Touch them up. Good luck.
Arce.
Well, they didn't just touch gloves, they banged gloves.
Arce has a 4-year-old daughter, Michelle, who blows imaginary magic dust on him before fights to protect him. She did it by telephone this time and says she has an inexhaustible supply for her dad.
Well, he's no longer sucking on the lollipop, though surely when he saw that, Alvarez was thinking, I want to knock it all the way down his throat. And just to make the point again, at the end of the referee's instructions, when commonly fighters will touch gloves in a show of sportsmanship, they banged gloves in a show of extreme dislike. Alvarez starts out going to the body. Arce is the longer of the two fighters. It's a little odd to say that when guys are this size. How do little guys like this fight? If you haven't seen it before, usually furiously and feverishly. Though this is, Lennox, the classical tactical first round.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a chess match in a way. They're both used to each other. I'm sure they've watched a lot of tape on each other, so, you know, first round is always like this.
And referee Vic Jakulic says to Rosendo Alvarez, keep him up. You can tell during referee's instructions that Arce wanted to say something about the height of Alvarez's trunks to Drakulic, but there was a language barrier. So maybe Arce just figured, okay, I'll take care of it during the fight.
Arce looks much the bigger, stronger man. But Alvarez forever will be remembered for those two fights against the great Lopez. Arce has not come close to fighting anybody of that stature yet.
Lennox, when you're on the short end of a questionable decision like that, do you walk away saying to yourself, the heck with the judges, I'm sure I won that fight. In my mind, I treat it as a victory. Is that the natural instinct of the fighter?
Yeah, definitely, because I remember when I boxed Evander Holyfield first fight, and the judges went against me, and I definitely felt I won that fight. But I felt good because the whole country, the whole world actually seen who the better fighter was. So.
Oh, no, Lennox, they gave you a draw. At least you got to keep the title, right? March 13, 1999 at Madison Square Garden. An atrocity long since forgotten.
Arce has not jumped on Alvarez as many expected as yet.
No, he's shown him respect. In fact, after the show of dislike at the end of referee's instructions, they had both fought an exceedingly respectful first round. There may be a red spot outside the right eye already of Jorge Arce.
Well, he's not a stranger to blood coming from various parts of his head. Now they're talking to each other with their fists and their tongues.
You're managing real well with the left. Yeah. Don't get over anxious. Deep breaths. We're doing fine.
Sigue manejándolo de esa. Si te lo dejas acercar y luego tú ya veas si te quedas ahí.
No hay nada, I'm fine. Come on.
Okay, no problem.
I'm going to get him now. Don't get overconfident now. He said there was a punch. Don't just stand right there. Jab, feint, and throw the combination.